In this Angular tutorial series, we will cover what is event data binding in AngularJS. So let's start the video.
Hello friends, welcome to our channel WaveTutorials, and you are watching AngularJS full tutorial session. And also I request you to, if you have still not subscribed to our channel, then please subscribe to it and don't forget to click on that notification bell icon. So let's start with today's session.
Event binding is defined as sending of value of a certain variable from presentation layer to component. We already discussed in our previous videos with property binding and interpolation data binding that data travel from component to view, but here in event binding the data travel from HTML to component. This is also a one-way data binding. Event binding comes into picture when an event is generated from view, like a click event is executed by a user interacting with form. In that case, corresponding method is required to call to process the further action. For example, if some user click on a button or mouse over or mouse out, an event is fired and the corresponding method connected with that event is required to call for further processing. So let's open Visual Studio Code and check an example with event data binding. I already prepared this component and our application is running on localhost 4200, and in this component we are using inline template so that we can check the changes at same time. So let me adjust the window a little bit so that we can get more space. And to check the event binding, first of all we have to click a button and execute a click event from that button. So first of all, let's create a button here and pass a click event within a pair of parentheses. We already know that we are using pair of square bracket in property binding, and for event binding we have to use a pair of parentheses. And then we need to pass name of the function on click, and then clicked event, the name of the button, and then close the button. Now let's create a method with the same name as onClick, and our requirement is whenever we click on this button, a variable will be increased with the number of clicks we clicked on this button. So for this we also have to get a variable like clicked count, which will be of number type, and its initial value should be 0, and we have to increase this count whenever we click on this button. So here this dot click count equal to this dot click count plus 1. You can also write it as click count plus plus. It will also increase it by 1. And also we have to display this click count on screen. For this we will use interpolation. Let's save it. And also let me apply a class to a button. We have already created the class as btn. Let's save it. And you can see here that the button, whenever I click it, it will increase the count by 1. So the same way, event binding, we can also use another events like mouse over, mouse out. So let me show you another example of this. Let me copy this. Also create a break element in between. And add a mouse over event here. And the same way we declare a variable here. Let's also declare a variable for mouse over. Let's save it. And you can see that whenever I mouse over to this button, the count got increased. Also, there is an alternate of this event binding on click and on mouse over. You can write it like on hyphen click, which is known as the canonical form variation. So we can also achieve the same result using this canonical variation. So you can see that we are increasing the count. The same way you can also do this with mouse over on mouse over. You can see that whenever I mouse over on it, the count get increased. Here you can see that in event binding the data flow from presentation layer to component, whereas in interpolation and property binding the data travel from component to presentation layer. So here whenever we click on this button, the click event executed and it executed from view to component, and then in component we receive that event and set the counter value of this variable by increasing it by 1 and set it back to the view using interpolation. In this video we have covered event data binding in AngularJS application. If you have any query, please write a comment in comment box, or you can also write to me at wavetutorial@outlook.com. I also request you to, if you have still not subscribed to our channel, then please subscribe to it and please like this video. My name is Naveen and thank you for watching this tutorial.